Hey, Sun Devil fans, Brad Denny with 3TV, CBS 5, and the Speak of the Devils podcast here, coming at you with another fall camp quick hit mini episode. And this one is coming right after ASU wrapped up the final scrimmage of fall camp. Things are definitely heating up. Joe and I did go over the latest fall camp developments from the first 2.5 weeks of fall camp, including a look at the quarterback battle, some of the injury impacts and everything on the brand new full Speak of the Devils episode that hit your feeds earlier this morning. Also was featured guest wide receiver Andre Johnson and running back George Hart III. But this morning I was out there at Sun Devil Stadium as the ASU took the field, as mentioned, for the final scrimmage. And of course, center stage is the quarterback battle. Now, of course, with Drew Pine's unfortunate injury, his return is still TBD with the hamstring issue. It's really down to kind of a two-horse race with Trenton Bourguet and the ascendant Jaden Rashada, who is really coming along and, as we talked about in the last episode, making tremendous strides since spring practice. And Kenny Dillingham was really kind of complimentary of him earlier today. You know, he really likes that Jaden continues to push the ball downfield. Said that overall the team had kind of lacking that downfield ability in fall camp, and that, you know, making the plays down the field and pushing the ball is, quote, winning football. Now, of course, this is a battle that has been going on for a while, and that Trenton Bourguet exited spring as the leader. He had a very strong spring, but that gap was closed with first by Drew Pine, who, again, I think with the key to his ascendancy and making this a very close race prior to his injury, was also taking shots downfield. And Trenton Bourguet is a guy who doesn't necessarily do that a whole lot, although he did that, had to have some success with that today, as we'll get to in the scrimmage rundown here in a moment. But overall, he's a guy that is very cerebral, likes to get the ball out quick, kind of play in that point guard role, as we talked about over the last several months. Really, this is an offense that likes to get the ball out in 2.5 seconds. But Jaden Rashada obviously presents a different skill set, a different profile for defenses. And as Kenny Dillingham said, when he's on the field, referring to Rashada, explosive plays happen. So Kenny did outline that he's likely to make a decision next Thursday, August 24th. That'll be 1 week until ASU's season opener against Southern Utah. And he outlined that he's going to, at that point, you know, prior to that, they're going to be looking at the entirety of fall camp, the entire body of work with the quarterbacks, and look for guys who scored touchdowns, led scoring drives, produced explosive plays, and also have not had turnover-worthy plays. So kind of running down what we saw out there on a very hot Wednesday morning in Mountain America Stadium. They began with just kind of a stretch period and special teams work. Longhetto continued a strong camp, connecting from 48 yards. And you know, this really kind of went through the rhythm of a game day. The entire team was on one sideline. They went to preseason or pregame warm-ups in the position groups as they do heading into a game. So, and then they began with a 2-point conversion battle. I think Bourguet had the edge here. First play was a good over-the-middle throw to tight end Bryce Pierre for the conversion. Then on the flip side, nearly had an interception. Jordan Clark made a nice break on a ball and got the PBU when he almost nearly had the pick. Then a nice little fade ball to Troy O'Meary, which is good to see when you have the physicality of a Troy O'Meary, who got some props after practice from Kenny Dillingham for being, you know, a physical, tall target and being able to make those big plays over there. And then Messiah Swinson had a very impressive one-handed catch to convert. Rashada was unable to get the end zone on any of his attempts, including Keith Abney having a PBU. And then the team went into more of a standard scrimmage rhythm with some special teams kind of plays. The first series of the day was led by Trenton Bourguet, looked like with a lot of the second-team offense. And there was an underthrow on a pass that was nearly intercepted by a guy you'll hear from here in a few minutes, cornerback Dee Ford, continuing to have a very good camp as well. He's put himself in a position for if not a starting role, something that will be have extensive playing time. It ended with a 53-yard field goal attempt that looked like it might have been tipped because the trajectory, and there might have been, it sounded like somebody might have got a fingertip on it because the kick came up just a little bit short. And then Jaden Rashada took the next drive. A big run by another guy you'll hear from in a few minutes, running back to DeCarlos Brooks off to the right side. They were able to get into the red zone pretty deep, but the drive ultimately was snuffed out, and the kick by Longhetto was good to get the offense on the board for the day. And then Bourget got the next drive, starting from the own 4-yard line, and just really wasn't able to. It seemed like there was a good degree of miscommunication on a couple of routes between Bourget and his receivers. Did have a scramble for 7 yards, but and Sam Benjamin got some pressure, but really kind of wasn't able to get anything going there. The next drive was a lot better for the offense. This one was led by Jaden Rashada, also started deep in his own zone. Kind of not a great start. There was a false start penalty, something that was really kind of defining the Monday practice. But a nice out to Melquan Stovall. Brooks had a nice run as well, another huge run. So he was having a really effective day. I think he's positioned himself well to be perhaps that second back to Cam Scadaboo. And then perhaps the best throw of the day, one of the better throws of fall camp, was a deep touchdown, probably 45, 50 yards in the air to Elijah Badger. So that was probably something that gets a lot of ASU fans excited, because Rashada's deep ball and the arm just coming out of his hand definitely kind of pops off the page. And I think that's something that you heard Kenny talk about. Just when he's on the field, explosive plays happen, and that was a huge example of that. So having that ability and that desire and the to throw deep, challenge a defense downfield is going to be interesting to track. Jacob Conover, the former high school standout here at Chandler High School, and the BYU transfer, hadn't seen a whole lot of time. I don't believe he saw any team reps until the injury to Drew Pine. He had a kind of a good day. He had a deep touchdown toss to Sean Charles, playing with some of the guys lower on the depth chart. Then later on, it was kind of going back and forth between Trent and Jaden Rashada. Both quarterbacks then had some rough drives that nearly ended or one did in fact end in a turnover. Trenton Bourget kind of floated one over the middle that was picked off by Mace Williams. It was definitely a throw that Trenton would probably want to have back. And then Jaden Rashada took over on the next drive. Had a big gain downfield that was caught by Badger. But it looked like one of those plays where he was throwing to one guy and another guy ended up making a catch. So obviously it worked out. But the drive ultimately kind of fizzled out, and there was a near interception by safety Xavier Alford that looked like it probably would have been one of those turnover-worthy plays, as Dillingham described it. On the next drive, the offense got a little bit better. It was kind of a really rough start. Again, Bourget misfired deep and had another near interception, kind of another floater pass that he really would want back. But he was able to kind of rebound and put together a really strong drive. Nice first down pass to freshman wide receiver Caleb Black, then a nice deep out, and then a really impressive throw on the run as he was kind of under pressure, rolling out to his right. And then right after that, they had a nice touchdown over the top to Messiah Swinson. So it was good when you have a 6'7", 6'8" tight end. Maybe throw it up to him and let him go to work, and good things might happen. Conover and Rashada then kind of tailed out the remaining drives of the day. Conover, again, the guy who gets in there, and it seems like he's making most of his limited reps, just taking a lot of shots downfield. Nice big gain to freshman wide receiver Corbin Hendricks, and Rashada was under pressure a little bit on the next drive. Prince Dorba, who's really put together some really good practices in recent weeks. The Texas transfer looks like he'll have a role in that edge rotation. I was getting after things. Then Rashada comes in, and then he was able to connect with running back George Hart, who you heard from on our last full Speak of the Devils episode. A good short pass that George Hart just kind of made some magic happen, turn on the jets, made a guy miss, and then kind of cut down for at least we were on the opposite end of the field in the media viewing area. So it looked maybe, a 40, 50, 60 yard catch and run play for the score. And then a deep touchdown pass from Jacob Conover to Caleb Black also was kind of highlighting near the end of the practice session. So all in all, the quarterback battle is coming down to about its final week or so, and both guys have had some plays they would certainly want back, and some plays that really kind of will be standing out in their favor as they vie for that job. And again, we continue to wait for any kind of more exact details on the extent and the duration of Drew Pine's injury. And after practice, was able to catch up with a few key Devils and talk to them, get their thoughts on the scrimmage and fall camp as a whole. Let's start off with defensive tackle Dashuan Mallory. Obviously, defensive tackle and the defensive interior was a very key and remains a very key need for this team. They needed a guy to come in here and really kind of help them out, and Mallory has fit that bill, putting together a really strong fall camp. Obviously, a very impressive guy to talk to as well. If you remember my conversation on a prior episode, even over the summer before he came to Tempe, but he has been as advertised. The Michigan State transfer being a very disruptive force in the middle of that defense. So a lot of good things from Dashuan. So let's get to it. Here's that conversation. Week 3 of camp, it kind of winded down a little bit. How do you feel these first 3 weeks of the Sun Devils gone for you?
First 3 weeks as a Sun Devil for sure. I mean, I couldn't have been more blessed, man. Like coming out here, it's my first time being in Arizona. But to talk more about football, like I said, the coaches brought me in right away and they believed in me. You know what I'm saying? They trust me. They sat me down in the meeting rooms, wanted to go over the play calls, the playbook, like right away. Like I said, right away when I first got here. And I think that my lovely teammates, man. But I think that one thing that I say the first 3 weeks that I've noticed for sure is just the level of trust that they give here. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm an older guy, I'm a vet, and I think the one thing that kind of stands out to me is the ability to trust. And I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I'm not necessarily a guy that doesn't trust everybody, but I am accepting to it. And like I said, coming here is so free. It's not nonchalant, it's not complacency, but they see the aggression in me. And like I said, I'm definitely a leader by example. I try to just make sure I do my job. My 111, the Coach Ward and Coach Amy said all the time. And it's been great being out here with the guys, the teammates. And like I said, this is my first time being here, man, especially in the Pac-12 conference, and I couldn't be more thankful.
Midwestern guy, how you handling this desert heat?
I'm not going to lie, Midwestern guy for sure. Man, Chicago, Chi-Town, what up? But the heat hasn't been too bad, I'll be real honest with you. I definitely do. I take a lot of pride in my discipline. I drink a ton of water every day. I be getting with our nutritionist, Gabby. She be getting on me a little bit. Sometimes I fail my hydration test, but I definitely do a good job of trying to stay hydrated, making sure, when I get home, take the right accordance of like sleep and shower, and then make sure my AC set at a good time. They say here, the prices run up a little bit, so I've been trying to make sure I at least talk to the coaches about like what level of AC should be comfortable to make sure I'm not like sweating in my sleep and stuff like that. But I say staying on top of my water and being real disciplined for sure.
Now you've been a real standout in fall camp, making your presence known on that defensive line.
Yes, sir.
What do you feel has been kind of the keys to your performance, and obviously to the defensive tackle spot and the interior has been kind of a team need. How do you feel like you're coming in and knowing that this team need and coming in and delivering with your performance so far?
Right, so to go back to like what I said about when I first got here, the trust. I feel like once I got here, the coaches see me, they already know my story, you know what I'm saying? So when I got here, it was kind of like come here and be free. And I feel like with me, I'm a very disciplined kid, and you know what I'm saying? I try to stand out, but I'm not obnoxious with it. But I say I got a lot of passion deep down inside. I was just telling the guy before that I'm far from home. I'm from Chicago, I'm here in Arizona, you know what I'm saying? And to me, I want to chase freedom. And like I said, to me, again, that just means like where I'm from, not too many people get to be in this position that I'm in, you know what I'm saying? So it means something to me when I come out here, I strap my helmet up and I get to put my hand in the ground. There's aggression there because, it means a lot. You know what I'm saying? I'm thankful for the coaches, picking me out of the transfer portal and, picking the kid out for their last year. And like I said, to me, I got nothing else to give to them but my all. And being out here with the guys, being out here with my teammates, and being a vet, it does take a lot of ownership, but I take pride in it, like I said. And I think just, like I said, putting my hand down in the ground, there's something to play for. You know what I'm saying? I'm not just trying to wear the jersey. I'm not just trying to be a part of the Pac-12 conference, and I'm not just trying to be a Sun Devil. I want to be more than that. And like I said, being here and the coaches being able to trust me, I've been feeling nothing but love since I've been here.
Vince Amy, obviously, is a guy who played on this very field and made his mark. And what's it been like kind of working with him in camp and kind of helping to refine your game?
Coach Amy's my guy, man. He's a funny dude, and I say his approach to coaching is what's different for me. He doesn't necessarily try to be that coach that try to abuse his authority. I feel like he's very accepting to listen to you. So whether I'll obviously be a little bit open, but say if I mess up on a play or something like that, he'll ask me, what did I see first? You know what I'm saying? Of course, if our perspectives don't align, then of course he'll coach up and stuff like that, but he trusts me to go out there and make plays, you know what I'm saying? So it's not like I'm out there freewheeling or anything like that, but he definitely gives you the ability, the free space to do you and be you at the end of the day. And all he wants is aggressive people. You know what I'm saying? He wants us to play smart, aggressive, passionate football, and that's just who he is. You know what I'm saying? You can feel that from him, the way he talks, the way he is in the meeting rooms and sometimes like that. You just have no choice but to look at him and be attentive. So coming out here, it's like you just want to go to war from him. You know what I'm saying? So Coach Amy has been great. Coach Amy has been great since I've been here.
What's a successful 2023 look like for you?
Honestly, I obviously wish the best for the team, but you know what I'm saying, personally, you asked me that question, and I want to be the best. You know what I'm saying? I didn't get to do that at my last school, and I feel like I could have. I feel like I still can. That's also why I transferred. So I feel like I still got plenty of ball to play. But personally, you know what I'm saying, I want to go down as probably one of the best people that left here. And I got a year to do it. I feel like I can do it. Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Year. I want to be hopefully in New York by the end of the season, talk about Heisman. But I definitely want some accolades. I definitely want some awards to my name before it's all said and done. And I feel like I got the hunger to do it. I feel like I got the passion to show it. I feel like I got the right guys around me for all of us to shine. And if my glory comes, I hope theirs comes too. And if mine don't, it's all about the team at the end of the day. But to me, I definitely want to be the best as I can be.
Elsewhere on that defense, another newcomer who's been making his name very well known is cornerback Dee Ford, coming over from Austin Peay. And just like Shamari Simmons has made his presence felt and is in line for a starting job there as well. I've said on the main show, I think this guy might be Kobe Williams 2.0. He's kind of short in stature, but looms large in his presence and his technique and his effectiveness as a pass defender. So here is what Dee Ford had to say following Wednesday's scrimmage, with a little cameo by offensive lineman Joey Ramos.
So scrimmage in the books, how do you think the defense performed today?
I think the defense was flying around, playing fast, playing fearless, playing physical, and that's really all you can ask for a defense. Obviously, there's going to be things we need to clean up in the film room, just getting little adjustments done so that way we can make sure we're good for when the season comes. But just effort and intensity, the defense had it today.
How do you feel that you've kind of come along, now about almost 3 weeks into fall camp?
I think I've just been progressively just trying to get better every day, getting better every day, learning the system, accepting coaching, and just getting familiar with the team and just the chemistry. And I think just over these 3 weeks, everything has just been good, just steadily progressing up. Coach Dilly, Coach B. Ward, BC, they've all been doing a tremendous job with me, just trying to coach me and teach me new things that I didn't know before. So it's all been great.
What have you noticed kind of the difference between you making that jump up from FCS to Power 5 level football?
I'll say just with Power 5, there's no drop off. Every play, every rep, you have to be on your A game. Somebody's good who's lining up in front of you. So it just really puts you on notice just to be on your A game every practice because you can't take any reps off.
Just overall, how do you feel the secondary is coming along? Obviously, some guys that are vying for some reps, and you're kind of like Jordan Cook.
Number one in the whole Pac-12.
Yeah.
This guy.
And you're seeing first team reps. How do you feel that kind of the secondary is coming together so far?
Secondary is unbelievable. It's great playing with those guys. Having Chris Edmonds, Zay, JC, Shamari Simmons, Rowe, Ed Woods, Mason, everybody, we've just been playing real hard. Keith Abney, freshman. I think the secondary is just really coming along. We're gelling with each other, and everybody's just real competitive. We all competing to be the best. Just a little bit in the corners room. I just feel like the corners, each and every day, we're getting better. We striving to be the best, and I think that's all you can ask for.
Yeah, what kind of things specifically have you seen in your own game, just whether it's technique or just kind of things in the defense that you've seen the greatest progress from kind of practice 1 to right now?
I'll say just my patience, my technique. I got definitely better with my technique. From the first day I came in, I was a little raw, just straight talent. So I think just the coaches, they really dissected me and got me down to where I can play technique, sound football.
So Joey, what do you think about what you've seen from Dee?
I see a great skill set from this young man, we have a little mountaintop joke, and, he keeps the same energy every day. So that's what I think the defense needs, so I think he's doing a fantastic job.
Mountaintop right there.
Obviously, just a couple weeks left until the season opener. What are some of the things that you want to make sure you get accomplished to make sure you feel that you're ready to go against Southern Utah?
Really just making sure I'm more conditioned. I want to be more conditioned, more mentally conditioned, so that way I know that if I get tired, I'm mentally able to just keep going. So I'll say that's really my main thing, is just getting physically conditioned and ready for a football season.
What does a successful 2023 look like for you?
Leading the Pac-12 in either pass breakups or interceptions, first team Pac-12, and getting a scouting combine invite.
And finally, with this Sun Devil offense that's going to be looking to establish itself on the ground, they're going to need a quality stable of backs. And DeCarlos Brooks, the former Chandler High School star and Cal Golden Bear, has really made his name known. He made some big plays in the spring, and he's carried that over and put together a pretty fall camp. So I had a chance to talk to DeCarlos about his role in the offense, coming back home, and what he's going to look for in 2023.
Some big plays today. You had a big run to kind of help key a touchdown drive. How do you feel the offense performed today?
I feel like we did great today. I feel like we was flying around. We was physical. We played fast. 1s, 2s, and 3s, I think all did great things. I think, Trent did really well. Jay did really well at quarterback. Even Jacob Conover did really well at quarterback, and all the running backs as a whole. So I'm proud of my offense and what they did today for the last day of camp.
The defenses seem to be having some pretty strong days collectively throughout fall camp. And as an offensive unit, what is it like just kind of going up against a defense that might some days get the best of you, but then you try to punch back when you can?
Yeah, that's just a competition like that we been cultivating since the summer, really. Like, regardless of what it is, if it's like sprint or like a drill in the summer, something like that, like offense versus defense, that's how it was, and it just transitioned into how we practice every day. So offense, we gotta get them sometimes, and defense, I gotta get us sometimes. But if we just keep that competitive edge, that's gonna help us in the long run, and we play other teams.
You had some big plays throughout the course of spring practice, but now that we're 3 weeks into fall camp, where have you seen kind of the biggest strides, over the summer and into fall camp as you're heading into the season?
I just feel like the consistency of the team and stuff like that. Me and myself, I feel like knowing the playbook, like I don't even have to think anymore. It's just really quick. So I can just play ball and do what I do.
The quarterback competition obviously is kind of taking center stage. As a member of the offense, and you don't necessarily have that official QB1 yet. What is it like just kind of going out there and trying to build that rapport and chemistry with guys kind of rotating in at quarterback?
Really, it's just like how you just said, just getting that chemistry with everybody. I get extra throws in with everybody after practice or before practice, regardless of quarterback who it is, because you really don't know who it is with these great quarterbacks that we have right now. It could be Jaden, it could be Trent, it could be Jacob Conover now. Drew is unfortunate, but he got to come back stronger than ever. So we just waiting on him. So it really could be anybody.
How good is it now, be back home and just, be a Sun Devil and just kind of try to do some big things for your hometown school?
Oh, no, it's great, man. I got my family here, I got friends here, everybody knows me and stuff like that. It's just that home feeling you can't ever duplicate. When I was at Cal, it felt good being there away from family and stuff like that first couple of years, but when you come back home, you kind of take it for granted. So I'm glad I got to be home and see my family and people, and it's just great to be here.
What are some of the things you want to lock in over the next 2 weeks or so to get ready for Southern Utah?
Just keeping my body right, just being consistent with the plays and everything like that. Make sure my leadership is at top tier for the running back group, and just get ready to ball.
What do you think your fall camp performance has said to the coaching staff about the role that you should have this year?
I feel like I should have a significant role, regardless of what that is. I just want to help the team win. If I'm a starter, if I'm a two, I know once I get on that field, though, I'm going to show good things. So regardless of what it is.